My hat! Alright, so we have the body right here. The main thing I want to get is just the exterior, because I do have to wash it and clean it afterwards, but I just want to mount this so I can see which offset I want to run in the wheels. So that being said, I'm going to use my scissors here, and one of the things to note is be careful here. This is actually for the wing. You're going to have to cut these out right here. For the wing. So there's one there and there's one on this other side. So when you're cutting, don't cut halfway in there. You will ruin these little pieces here that will go on your wing. Now for me, for this cut, I'm actually going to start here in the back, right over here. And I'm going to start cutting like this, and then I'm just going to start trimming out the body. So we'll see how this trimming turns out. Now, always use quality scissors. You want something that is sharp. These happen to be by Dynamite. They were pretty inexpensive, and they were a pair. So you get the straight scissors, and then you get these rounded scissors. And they weren't that much. I believe the pair was under $20. So you can get these from your local hobby shop. There's other brands as well. These are nice and sharp. And remember, body scissors, so these Lexan scissors you really only want to use on Lexan. Don't use them on other things if you don't have to. For example, tape. If you cut tape with these, you're going to have to clean them. So right now I'm just going slow. I'm actually cutting below the line, so I'm going to have to come back and trim. But it's alright. Right now I just kind of want to get this lower portion off. And if you're used to buying pre-cut bodies, I mean, that's fine, they work, but once in a while there might be a model that you want, and chances are you're going to have to cut the body. Although if you're used to short course, Traxxas Bodies I think are really nice on the slash bodies. But Proline does make some really nice pickup bodies, especially if you like scale stuff. So definitely check Proline out. And like I said, there's a variety of brands that you can try. Now these rounded parts, these are generally the more challenging ones. That's why the only thing I'm trying to do is just separate the bulk of the body. So I'm not even on the line. I'm actually, the line is up here, I'm below it. There we go. And this Lexan is quite thick, actually. I'm surprised. And, well, I mean, naturally, the bug design is very, very strong just because of these arcs here. So I'm really liking this, especially if you have seen some of my other videos. Well, one in particular that I'm thinking of. I land on my roof quite a lot, so this should be good, and then hopefully because it's round it'll help the truck kind of roll over, but we'll see, we'll see. And always watch your fingers, watch your hands, so don't be in a rush. Whenever you're using sharp tools, do not be in a rush. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off. Right, now I can start trimming this down. And I'm actually going to use the rounded scissors. These scissors are very good at doing this. Do you need them? No, you can use the other ones. These just make your life easier though. That's the reason why. But they make your life easier as long as you have to cut left. If you cut right, it's not as easy. Well, that's if you're cutting above the Lexan, as I'm doing now. So you're cutting left, they're great. But if you start cutting right and the scissors are on top, so let's just say I started going this way. I'll show you. Actually, they're not too good. Not too bad. So the problem is sometimes when you're going one way, depending if the scissors are on top of the Lexan or below the Lexan, because of where the blades are. So this way, actually, this works, but you have to be on top. If I were cutting like this and I were below, that would not work. So that's why I get stuck sometimes. So just snip that off, and I need to cut those little things off. Here we go, so I'll just do this one over here. There's a variety of paints that you can use. Duratrax has some good quality paints, and they're generally a good bargain. And what I mean by that is $7 will get you a good amount of paint. Tamiya makes very high quality paint, but it is more expensive. So you're going to be getting less paint for the same amount of money, but it's very good. The only thing about Tamiya, though, is if you get their paint, make sure, if it's for Lexan, make sure that you get the PS paint. Do not get the TS. The TS will chip off. So that's something, that's a little note. The PS is the one for Lexan. That's the flexible paint. Right, so this is where it gets challenging. So you see how here the scissors are running under the body because of the design. This is where it starts getting difficult to cut because now the scissors are pushing against the body. So this is what I was referring to. So I'm going to cut the other way. And here I can actually just cut straight up. Just cut in here. And there we go. And you really need to be careful when you have really sharp scissors, kind of like these, because sometimes they want to just run and cut, and then you can go off the line. So be careful. But it's better to have scissors that are really sharp. There's no such thing as scissors that are too sharp. I mean, they're made for cutting. If they cut extremely well, they're just very good scissors. But do not use dull scissors. Just chews up the plastic as you're cutting it, really. Here we go, this was a lot easier. See, so cutting left is easier in some designs, such as this, because it's not uniform. Well, it's a mirror image of the other. But here, now I'm just going to go down here. And one of the nice things is if you've ever owned a bug or have seen a bug in person, I mean, the detail in this motor, given that it's Lexan, is actually pretty good. I like it. I mean, you can tell where the generator is in this design, which is nice. Actually, I'm not sure when they switched from generators to alternators on these bugs, but the old ones used to have generators. Not as efficient, but still pretty cool to see. It's just a piece of automotive engineering history that's fascinating. Now on bodies like this, sometimes what ends up happening is these sharp edges, these will break. So something you can do is you can put some duct tape underneath after you've pinned it up, or you can just ream a little tiny hole so it cracks up to that hole. That's something you can do. But for me, I'm just going to leave it as is. Well, might as well finish trimming it. Right, now I'm following the actual lines. There we go. And I'm not too worried right now about touching the interior of the body because this is going to be washed with soap and warm water. That's how you get all the grease and oils, little lipids out. But yes, a good rule of thumb, if you don't have to handle it that much, don't. And this is a really thick part of Lexan, but as I try handling it, it flexes a little, and that's why I'm going slow and trying to be careful. I do not want to accidentally warp the Lexan as I'm cutting and then get a crooked cut. So I'm trying to just take my time, be patient, follow the body line here, and cutting gently. And then get your fingers out of the way. And here I could use my rounded scissors, but there's no need really. There we go. Alright, so this side is finished. And this side, I just need this lower part. Problem is I'm hitting this part, so it's not letting me cut. I may have to start on this other side or use the rounded scissors. Let me use these. These will probably help. And if I can't cut this way, I'll just cut straight and then I'll come in the other way and do this little round part. I'm being stubborn right now. There we go. Alright. Now I can go back to these. And I want to try to place the scissors right where the other ones left off, just so I get a clean cut. And so see how the scissors just run? I mean, they're sharp. There we go. All right, that is trimmed. That was it. Now I just need to do the other part. But to be honest, what I wanted to do right now, I'm gonna have to cut that whole engine section off. Ooh, that was one of the coolest parts about this body. Oh well. Oh wait, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Yes, awesome. Because I really wanted to keep that. See, so I can go ahead and just ream those out, and they fit right. This one back here, if you notice it's not really sitting properly, I just have to bend that post back. But other than that, this is the way it should seat. So let me finish trimming the other pieces and then I'll ream those holes. I'd rather just trim everything first before I start reaming and fitting and seating. So these are generally, you can usually just use double stick tape to attach these to the wings, or you can ream a little hole, a 3mm hole, and then stick a screw in there with a little nut just to make sure that holes and doesn't fly out. Because double stick tape is good, but you know, Lexan many times these parts will fly off. And I usually don't paint these, leave them clear, so depending on what surface it lands on, could be easy to find, it could be a challenge. As much as I like looking for things and not finding them, I'm kidding, I don't. Rather do that. But let's see, let's trim the other one now. So all of these bodies, all bodies generally start with just one large piece of Lexan, and then it's placed over a mold and a frame, well actually a frame, and then there's a mold, for example something like this, the negative, and then there's just heat and a vacuum. So there's vacuum applied and then heat, and it starts taking shape. So that's the reason why if you grab parts, some parts of the Lexan will be thicker than others. The thicker ones are closer to the thickness of the original lamina, versus the thinner parts, that's where the Lexan stretched a little more. So this part here is thicker because this didn't stretch as much. There we go. So we've got the two pieces there, and this body feels really strong. Breaking points, I'm going to imagine it's probably around here, so I will be reinforcing those parts once I'm finished with the body. Now the wing, don't toss everything just yet, you still need to trim this portion here. So now I'm just going to go through, cut, and free this up. There's one side. And now I'm going for the other side. I want to see what the durability is like on this body, because just based off feel, I really like it. I think this is probably going to turn out to be a very durable body. It feels very strong. Now, if you want something that's maybe a thicker material, you can also get the Bash Armor body that Proline makes. There's different ones. There's one that's a short course size, just your standard short course. And then there's another one that's a little wider that's actually made for these trenchers. So if you're fitting the wheels that I'm fitting on this body, they fit nicely under that one. So just look at the part numbers, look at the description, because they look similar. If you're just kind of browsing through quickly, but if you actually just stop a second, look at them, they're very different. The fenders are very different between them. This wing is very thick Lexan. Here we go. Right, so I'm using the curved scissors. All right, I will have to cut this off because it's getting in the way. All right, let's keep going. And now we'll start going the other way. There we go. And put these over here. Da, 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 da. And it's always funny how the closer you get to the end, the longer it feels like it's taking. Even though if you time it, it really isn't. It just feels that way. All right. There we go. All right, so I'm going to use the straight ones. And just going to cut all the way through. And we're almost there. And as always, mind your fingers. Right. Don't want to accidentally end up with 13. It's not difficult, just have to be careful and take your time. And just feel what the Lexan wants to do, how it wants to twist and move. All right, there is the wing. So I'm probably going to leave this clear, haven't decided yet, we'll see. Now that that is set, I just need to get the reamer and then start reaming the body. And I'm going to start with these holes, and like I said, it's just, oh, right there, they're right there. I'm not sure if you can see the mark right here. And the nice thing about it is you can paint the body first, and you'll still be able to find them. I'm going to stick the reamer here. Let me just put pressure here so I don't break the body, and I don't stab myself either. Here we go. I'm going to go to, what is this, 6.5 maybe? I think it needs to be larger than that. Maybe we'll go to the 7. Well, I also need to bring the post up. Alright. So body reamers will have these little lines on there. So I actually went to that one there, the one between the 7 and the 8, which is actually 8. So that's how far I am reaming. And again, I'm just using these marks out of the factory. There's no need to rush it when you're reaming. If you do push too hard on it, you're not going to get a nice circular cut. You'll actually get a really ugly, odd oval cut. It's not going to be a perfect oval. It's probably going to look like a kidney or a bean. Do that one, and in the back, the holes are there. And no, I'm not worried about painting this and then getting some of the overspray on the exterior, because remember, there's a protective film on the body, so that overspray would be on this protective film on top. And then once I take that protective film on top off, that overspray would come with. So I guess the biggest danger would be to spray my hands, but not a big deal. All right, there we go. Now this is sharp, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here. Let's go ahead and take the body clips out. There. And like I said, this one back here is actually crooked. All right. So the front body mounts will have to come up, but not much. But let me show you why I'm going with this body. That's why. It's a narrower body. So I'm hoping that this body keeps some of those pebbles out. And I can always trim the fenders even more. But now that it's like this, let me go ahead and move these up. Let's see, is that a 2mm? Nope, 2.5. Alright, so we'll go move it here and go ahead and do the same thing over here. There we go. Alright. I'm just pushing these posts up, so if you have a Tekno, I'm pushing them so I can see just the very last hole toward the bottom. There we go. So for now, that's where they sit. See, so there's just one hole that's visible. And just let me mount this. And I think that's the correct spot. The rear can go up one as well. So the rear is just going to go up one. Let me tighten the front ones. So these are set. Alright, there we go, and yeah, it's just one more hole actually here for the rear. Shock's kind of in the way. I'll manage. Alright, perfect. So I'm just going to push this up, there we go. And I'm trying to find, there it is. Found it. And perfect. Now this one over here. And then I'll set the body, and then all I'll have left is pick the offset, and then I can worry about painting, getting the body complete, and then mounting the wheels up. So I will actually be mounting the wheels before I complete the body. Let's try it out. There. Now, I do have spare body clips. These are not all in good shape. This one's all bent. I'll actually try to straighten this one out. And then the other one is not a Tekno body clip. It's a lot thinner. This is actually a Traxxas one. I just needed to grab one. But here it is. So the bumper will be behind the body. Everything fits nicely. And this shell, it's not that much flex, to be honest. So I'm liking it. We'll see how long it lasts. See how much I can bash with this. If this turns out to be a very effective body, I will obviously let you know. But I will also start running these more. Now, yes, I could get the Bash Armor body, but Bash Armor bodies are a lot thicker and a lot heavier, so then you're going to be rolling more with those bodies. But right now, this is it. Now what I have to do is I have to get the wheels and see what offset I want.